This 2007 Ford Taurus has never been cleaned. That's right, the inside of this car is packing 17 years worth of dirt, grime, and sticky goo, making it a complete disaster. Buckle up as I tackle everything from a graveyard of dead bugs to things that I don't know what they are, and things that I don't want to know what they are. Prepare to be disgusted and amazed at the same time. Okay guys, well before I can get to work on the interior of this car, which is horrifying, I need to take care of a good chunk of the exterior work first, though if you've ever wondered why I always start with the exterior instead of the interior, well it really just comes down to personal preference. If you're one of those people who prefer to start on the interior, well that's totally okay. I start on the outside though for a couple of reasons. One, pressure washing early in the detail ensures the floor is dry by the time I'm done, and that any floor mats are dry as well. Another is that because I pressure wash the door jambs, it would be foolish to try to do that with a perfectly finished interior and risk getting any amount of water going inside. And the last is this way any water that gets stuck in a crevice will have ample time to drip out before I'm done with the vehicle, which is critical because that can happen several hours later. Honestly though, it's just the way that makes the most sense to me. Now thankfully Ford didn't use the dreaded carpeted wheel well liners on this Taurus because the wheel wells were packed full of mud, but it all came out pretty easy since it's just bare metal in there. Okay, well for this front end that's just been ham-blasted with bugs that have likely been on here for years at this point, I'm of course trying to remove what I can with the pressure washer, only they aren't really budging. Feels like they've almost become one with the car at this point, so hopefully my bug remover will be able to take care of them. Now for the tailgate jamb here that's packed full of gravel dust, the only practical way to get this clean is to use the pressure washer, though this isn't something I'd recommend you guys try at home. It takes a lot of control and experience with your pressure washer to be able to do this without soaking the interior in mud. It's quite a risky endeavor, but if done correctly, it can save you a ton of time, as this only took me about a minute to get it clean. Coming back to all the dead bugs, and I know my bug remover is a truly fantastic product, but this is probably the biggest challenge I've ever thrown at it. These bugs are deeply embedded and bonded to the paint, so I'll consider it a miracle if it's able to get them all off. Spoiler alert though, it does. Alright guys, it's time to get to work on this nasty interior. So once I've got these front seats removed, which were a little bit annoying as both the front and back bolts and the seatbelt bolt were all different sizes, we can get a better idea of what I'm dealing with today. And I gotta say, the container of margarine is a first for me. Then, since a good deal of the mess in here is in the second row, I'll unbolt and remove those seats as well. And this is where it starts to get really bad. The carpets back here are insanely dirty, and I'm honestly not sure if they can be recovered. Now, given how gross everything is in here, it was clear that the center console needed to be removed as well, so I'll carefully dismantle it, unbolt it, and get it out of here, and thankfully this was a pretty easy and straightforward process. Okay, well, since I know how much you guys love to see the nastiest things in the vehicles I work on, I figured I'd take you in for a closer look so you can really appreciate how thankful I am that I'm wearing gloves. Moving up to the driver's area now, and like I mentioned earlier, I can't say I've ever found a container of margarine in a vehicle before, though after seeing the weed garbage in here, it makes a little more sense. Of course, curiosity got the better of me, and I had to check and see if there was actually margarine in the container, and sure enough, it's a brand new unopened container. How does a person lose that? Okay, with all the gross and nasty things like the moldy bread removed from the vehicle and tossed, it's time to get to work vacuuming this carpet, which I think you can see is in absolutely terrible shape. Not only is the carpet terrible quality, it's been so beat down over the life of the vehicle that it's thinned out and the fibers that are left are practically glued together. It's not often that a good thorough vacuum doesn't improve the look of the carpet very much, So after seeing this, I don't have very high hopes that I'll be able to make this look much better today. Moving to the back now, and this carpet looks to be in slightly better shape than the rest, as it's not quite as difficult to get everything sucked out, though there are still a few areas that are really matted down. And then of course, because the seat anchor points are always a magnet for anything sticky or gross, those are going to need some serious work too. Now, while I work on this section here, I figured I'd give you what little background info I have on this car. Unfortunately, I don't know a whole lot about this one, but what I do know is that the previous owner never cleaned the inside of this car once, and they recently put this car up for auction where someone else bought it as is, and then they brought it to me to get it cleaned up. I can certainly understand why a person would do that, because there's no question this mess was something that not many people would be able to handle. So it would have been far easier to just auction the vehicle off as is, rather than cleaning it yourself. Here's everything the vacuum sucked out of the Taurus today, which is honestly a lot more than I thought. Moving to the passenger side, second row footwell now, and after seeing how poorly that last section cleaned up, I'm still hopeful that some of the other areas will end up looking better, though I do need to be realistic here with how good of a job I can do. As much as I want to make it look brand new today, that's just not possible. The carpet is super low quality, and because it acts like Velcro, there's always going to be dirt that you just can't remove, not to mention that it's so worn down in spots you can actually see the underlining of the carpet, and nothing can be done about that. That being said though, I will repeat the extracting process as many times as is needed to get the carpet looking as good as I possibly can. Okay, moving over to the driver's side now, and you'll notice there's a couple of what looks to be McDonald's barbecue sauce spills, and I say that with confidence because I've cleaned up so many of those in kid hauling vehicles over the years that I just know what it is when I see it. So from my experience, I know that it can be quite difficult to get agitated and removed, so I'll do what I can with the extractor right now, and then hit any lingering spots in a little bit when I've got the steamer out, and thankfully that's almost always the answer. Here's the bucket full of absolutely disgusting water pulled out of the car today. Gross. Now, as you may know, I always steam a vehicle from back to front, so this storage bin in the cargo area here is the first up, and as you can see, there's some sort of sticky pink stuff all over it and down the crevices too, so although this piece looked like it might be removable, it was proving to be too difficult, and I didn't want to risk damaging anything in the process, though I was able to dislodge the majority of this stuff pretty easily. This is what it looks like up close. I have no clue what this could be, so please, if any of you have a guess of what it might be, leave a comment down below and maybe we can collectively figure it out. Thankfully, my flat screwdriver was able to get into the crevice to get most of the goo out, and then I did also manage to pop out one side of the piece so I could get the rest that was stuck to the inside of it. Now as I work on the door here, I wanted to just give a quick shameless plug for my Detail Geek products. As you guys know, most of the products I use to transform vehicles are my own brand, and that's quite simply because they work incredibly well, which you can see week after week. As a perfectionist, I would never use or sell something that wasn't able to give you perfect results, so if you've got an eye for detail like me, then be sure to check out detailgeekautocare.com, where you can find everything you need to detail your vehicle, like the all-purpose cleaner I'm using here to get this door panel cleaned up. Worldwide shipping is available, though if you happen to be in Canada, you can also find some of my products at carzilla.ca. There's a link for you guys down in the description. Okay, well this is again something I've never seen before, and that's a giant clump of squished Skittles that are stuck to the second row passenger seat. Really not sure how that happens, but my strategy for removing it is going to be to start by going over the entire seat and basically just see if any of it comes off. If not, I'll take a slightly more aggressive and targeted approach. Alright, well unfortunately it didn't come off, so I once again grabbed my flat screwdriver and basically just pried off the big chunks as best I could, though I was surprised at how firmly it was bonded to the seat. Thankfully once I did this there wasn't a whole lot left, and the steamer and leather cleaner didn't have any trouble getting the rest of it off. Now on the back side of the seat here, there's a whole bunch of pink goo that's stuck to the fibers, and because I don't know what this is, and I didn't want to risk rubbing it further into the carpet, I decided to just use steam and to not agitate it, and while it took me a couple of minutes, I was able to get it all removed safely. Okay, turning my attention to this gross center console now, and the first thing to do here is to remove the rubber inserts, again with my flat screwdriver. Honestly guys, I use this screwdriver so much when I'm detailing that it's kind of like the unsung hero. It helps to remove trim panels, center consoles, undo electrical connections under seats, scrape out nasty goo from cup holders, like I had to do in those couple of chain smokers cars that I did recently. Heck, it even unclogs my vacuum nozzle from time to time. Sometimes the simplest of tools can be the most useful. Alright, well just before I get the vehicle put back together, I'll get all the plastic trim dressed and UV protected with some aerospace protectant. And the reason I do this before the seats are back in is because it's far easier to get the sides of the consoles and whatnot when the seats aren't in here. Not to mention, it's easier to get both sides of the seats as well. Okay, one of the last steps on this detail now is to clean all the glass, and there's a lot of it on this Taurus. But honestly, this step only takes about 10 minutes using my glass cleaner and waffle weave towel. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, the glass cleaner is absolutely safe to use on tinted windows as there's no ammonia in it, and it does a fantastic job cleaning glass and leaving it streak free. Alright guys, well after 15 long hours, this Ford Taurus has undergone an insane transformation and it is looking truly spectacular. Now if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, enjoy the guitar outro, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.